Israeli warplanes struck Houthi targets in Yemen's capital yesterday. This attack came after Israel shot down a Houthi missile carrying a cluster bomb.
And the IDF is gearing up for a major assault on Gaza City. The goal is to deal the final blow to Hamas and free the hostages. CBN Middle East correspondent Julie Stahl has more.
Israeli Defense Forces struck Houthi military targets on Sunday in the Yemeni capital of Sanaa. The sites included a military compound where the presidential palace is located, 2 power plants, and a fuel depot. Yemeni sources say 6 people were killed.
Whoever attacks us, we attack them. Whoever plans to attack us, we attack them. I think the entire region is learning Israel's might and determination.
The strike came in response to a Houthi-launched ballistic missile on Friday that had a cluster bomb warhead, which carries multiple smaller bomblets that scatter over a wider area, making it harder to defend against and more dangerous to civilians.
We continue to impose an air and naval blockade and are striking infrastructure targets that are used to promote Houthi terrorism. For every missile they launch at Israel, the Houthi will pay with interest.
Earlier, Katz said that the gates of hell will soon open over Hamas murderers and rapists in Gaza until they agree to Israel's conditions for ending the war, primarily the release of all hostages and their disarmament. Hostage families and others are pushing the government to make a deal and get their loved ones back soon. But over the weekend, the IDF began bombing the eastern and northern outskirts of Gaza City as the IDF increased its presence in northern Gaza. Tens of thousands of IDF reservists are called up to report for duty on September 2nd. Hamas continues to claim there is starvation in Gaza, despite the fact that tons of food is being distributed by the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation and other international organizations. Israeli officials say the international media continues to promote a Hamas propaganda campaign. Recently, Britain's Daily Mirror ran a front-page headline to, quote, "Stop starving Gaza's kids," with a picture of 3-year-old Karim Muammer saying he was in hospital with severe malnutrition. The IDF produced medical records saying the child suffers from Fanconi-Bickel syndrome, which causes delayed growth and metabolic issues. David Badine of the Center for Near East Policy Research says there is malnutrition and suffering in Gaza, but it's not caused by Israel.
This is an Arab tactic, a tactic used by UNRWA, Hamas, and the Palestinian Authority. We've seen one tactic used very successfully. That is self-infliction of wounds, showing themselves to be suffering, but they are suffering, trying to create situations of malnutrition, of poor medical attention.
Julie Stahl, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Well, keep in mind, the reason the people of Gaza are suffering is entirely because of Hamas. And do not equivocate on this. It's got nothing to do with Israel. Before October 7th, they had the entirety of Gaza. They could have run it any way they wanted to. What did they choose to do? They chose to attack Israel, and it was a horrific attack. And they have vowed to repeat that attack again and again and again. Israel cannot just continually play this defensive role. They have to get on the offense here and wipe this organization off the planet. There is no other pathway forward for peace. And looking at the Houthis here in the middle of all this devastation and this war, they launch a missile with a cluster bomb. You've got to be kidding me. But here's something to really keep in mind. In the previous administration, under Biden, our State Department said the Houthis were no longer a terrorist group. And they held to that even when they launched missile attacks against our own warships. And they tried to shut down shipping off the Red Sea. They held to that. They're no longer a terrorist group. Well, it's obvious they're a terrorist group. It's obvious that they hold to this horrible ideology that Israel has to be wiped off the map. Iran has that, Hezbollah has that, the PLO has that, the Popular Front has that, and Hamas has that. Let's stand against that ideology. Let's stand with Israel.